Montreal Canadiens are proud to select Ivan Demidov.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Curfew Boys podcast, a Sunday matinee episode once again. I believe this is 2 weeks back to back where we record in sunny sunshine Montreal, where it's still freaking cold on March the 2nd, Sunday, March the 2nd. But nonetheless, happy to be here. Thank you for joining us. I am Sammy, your host, with two of my boys here, the baseman Zook and Mr. Traveling to Asia in 48 hours, the stats man Joey. Hey
Yes.
now.
I'll be talking to you guys from the future soon.
You'll be in a couple of time zones away in the future. We could get into astrophysics with you and talk about how time traveling.
I can foresee the Habs' future now.
You can foresee the Habs' future within time. If you're going at light speed distance, Joey, you make sure you tell us if they win the cup or not.
Absolutely. Give me a couple of years on that one.
Happy Sunday, boys. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good. I like doing the matinees. I think it's nice. We get an episode out. You know, fans
We can
have
get
the
this
Sunday.
exactly.
Enjoy,
You know,
fully caffeinated right after breakfast.
Oh my god, I had like at least 3. My first 2 put some natural powdered maple syrup ish, but like powdered format.
Yeah.
That was my first 2. My third one, and now that I have the night off, I have the day off, the full day off after a night shift. I'm there. I'm like, got a nice couple of. I got a Bailey's bottle here.
Oh, okay.
Spike it up a bit.
Just make this.
Yeah.
Let's make this coffee a little bit Irish. You know, St. Patty's is around the corner, and in like literally 13 days from now, at least in 2 weeks from now, from Sunday, I believe. It's already, dude. So might as well. They call it March Madness for a reason. So why not just drop a little?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Joey, are you excited to be moving out of North America and into the continent of Asia, and to be specific, South Korea?
I'm nervous as well, but yes,
of course.
I'm definitely excited. It's a big change. So,
Mhm.
I mean, since you brought it up, if people don't know who's listening, I'm still going to be on the podcast, the content, but
Unfortunately, he's not going anywhere.
He's
expanding our roots in Asia.
I have a lifetime contract, so
Nice.
I'm moving to. I've always liked Asian culture, whether it's food and obviously the traveling and just a lot of stuff to see and do. So I took the plunge, and I work fully remote, right, in AI, so I'm able to sort of do this. I'm moving to
Absolutely.
Seoul, South Korea, at least 6 months, if not a year, to start, and we'll see from there. So I'll be doing podcasts, like we were saying, from the future.
So the Curfew Boys and our audience, Joy, wish you all the best of
Thank
luck, and enjoy it. Man, I remember my trip to Thailand in 2018, and I absolutely loved it. Probably one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Not that I've traveled much around the world, but
it's a different world.
It's different, and it's beautiful. It's such an eye opener. It just goes to show that sometimes we might think we don't have it good here, but we really do. We actually do, compared to different lifestyles and whatnot. However, traveling in a country you probably never thought you'd go is just an eye opener. It changes you as a person for the better.
Mm-hmm.
You learn different cultures. You learn how people around the world live differently than you, and it's just an awesome thing to do all around.
That's the best way to summarize. So, of course, one of our biggest hobbies and our biggest thing to do is sports. And I'm a huge soccer fan, so I know culturally, you know, Italian soccer, English, hockey, of course. And you mentioned about fans. There's Habs fans all over the world, but if there's something else I enjoy besides that, is traveling. And me and you, Sam, we've traveled together.
Yep.
I've been to many places, so this is something I'd like to kind of venture longer term, see how it is. But yeah, traveling is one of my hobbies, so I'm trying to make it where I can travel more often and be in different places.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
If you need help packing, let us know. We'll pack the shit out of it and help you get on that flight.
Curfew Boy stuff.
You better.
Yeah, of course.
You better bring Hab stuff too. You gotta bring this crest, this logo with you everywhere, and you gotta film content and ask.
Well, we're top 20 or 30 in Korea.
Good. Let's make it top 10 now, Joe.
Yeah,
That's your
yeah.
mission.
I'll bring
Your
it.
mission is to
Tasking
make
you with a mandate to make that
exactly. You
top
have
5.
You have a daily quota to convert Koreans into Habs fans. You understood?
You know, if we get
what,
that
though?
market open, that's
But
another.
never
you how many
know.
people. That's
But
another 40, 50 million people.
Gary Bettman will not compensate you. Just
Come on.
But if you
I bring
think
in
about
a
it,
few
Joey,
million more,
if you think about it, Joey, culturally speaking, the Koreans are into tech more or less, right? Like I would say
huge.
more than yours. So like if you meet people, like new people, you just show them, the YouTube, and they'll
of
probably
course.
be likely to subscribe right away in front of you
Yeah,
versus
of
here in
course.
Montreal if you meet a person on in a bar or
they're
something.
they're all about
All about
being on their phone. Like we
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about us being on
So
the phones,
it
which
might
we
work.
are.
Oh, for sure, for
them
sure.
for
It might
sure.
work
They're
to
like next
our
level.
benefit, Sandy.
Awesome. Anyway, so listen, everybody, Joey wishes you love and the best. And
Thank you, guys.
to our audience, again, if please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, absolutely free. If you're in the South Korea area, please like and subscribe. I could only say it in English. You could also follow the Curfew Boys on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or hear all our audio episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow the Curfew Boys, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or also known as X and TikTok. And a big thank you and a big shout out to our sponsor, Habs Cave. If you guys want to see the best, not man cave, but a best basement full of Montreal Canadiens memorabilia, follow Habs Cave on Instagram. You will not regret it. Sunil, our boy Sunil, posts amazing content. He's the man. So thank you to Habs Cave for sponsoring this episode once again. Boys, 4-game winning streak. The Montreal Canadiens on a 4-game winning streak after the Four Nations tournament break. And
first time since 2019?
Yeah, it was first time in 3 years, they said.
Okay, years.
Well, there you go. So I didn't even know that stat. I really think it started off with, not that it started off, but like, you hear little accolades here and there. Like you could say it starts off with Juraj Slafkovský saying, I had to not change my game around, but he had to mentally switch things around. There's a couple of times you hear him say, like, I think at one point, one is his interviews, he kind of spilled, I don't know if he spilled the beans. I'm not going like conspiracy theory type like Anthony does sometimes. Joey, don't forget to tell Anthony he's right live.
No, never.
You have to.
I can't leave off on that. No, never.
So, no, but like Juraj Slafkovský mentions, like he even had to change things off ice, and then he paused and was like, and even on the ice. So, listen, whatever it is that he had to do, fucking keep doing it. When he mentioned things like, if you want success in the NHL, you got to play like Brady Tkachuk, and he's been showing that, finally using his body to do the right things, protect the puck, crash the net, screen the goalie, and whatnot. Another thing I'll add too is I think Nick Suzuki sent a clear message to not just the fans, but even to the organization, saying we're hungry and we want to make the playoffs. So that propagates to the other players. You see the way Josh Anderson is playing. He's for sure injured somewhere, whether it's upper body, lower body. He's playing like a fucking beast, and he's showing true leadership. Emil Heineman comes back, finally stabilizes the lines, all 4 lines, and it just shows.
Did you see his opportunities yesterday? He was this close.
Listen, yesterday, unfortunately, like I said, I was working the night shift. We had a busy night. I did not really see the game as much as I would have liked to, but I saw the highlights. I did my homework. I did my research. Something's coming together for this team, and pardon me.
It's clicking.
It's very clicking. It starts with like a bit of that Carolina shutout 4-0. Sam Montempo played great, but even the guys in front of him played well defensively. Not that much of a great game against the Sharks, but thank God for Cole Caulfield scoring that beautiful in between the legs deke backhand.
One of the goals of the year.
I hope so. It's definitely, as far as the Montreal Canadiens goals are concerned, that's the goal of the year. Absolutely. This goal has to be top 5 in the NHL. It has to.
I don't get how the Habs can't play against the Sharks. They always have a hard time against them. I don't get it.
It's crazy, huh?
It's so frustrating to watch, dude.
It really is.
That's how I wanted to kind of start the episode. I'm glad we started with the win streak. It's been great. I won't put too much stock into Ottawa because we
started there, though, I think.
It did. That was the first game they won.
Especially with Slafkovský.
You know what? I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll say Ottawa, they were missing three
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
players, so
Yeah.
it put us to our advantage. But then you come into Carolina. I didn't watch the game, but I did my homework.
I was
They
there.
had-
I was
yeah,
there
so
live.
maybe it was your luck, Sam, but
I think it was, of course.
they had such a great game. Carolina 4-0. You're like, holy crap! Like you beat like a really good team and you had
Hmm.
a solid game. But then, Sam, you said it best. I should know better from this team against San Jose.
It's so
Yeah,
true.
It's true.
we struggled. This is what I'm not the one to comment on the win streak. Like, good job, guys. Like, there's so much to say. I really dive into why is it Carolina have such a solid game. Then you play
Yeah.
bottom of the barrel team. Who I'll be honest, I like some of the young players.
Oh
San
man,
Jose.
Absolutely.
Celebrating
Yeah,
and Smith. I love them. I love
yeah,
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure. But why do you come into San Jose, bottom of the league, at home? They won the game, great, but you're struggling.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Maybe they underestimated them. Maybe they thought this was going to be a bit of an easier game. Maybe I don't know. It's just you know what it is. It's San Jose is one of those teams that for some reason, maybe not now because they're in a rebuild as well, but for some reason throughout God knows how many years it's been. It's been 15 years. For some reason, San Jose has our number.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things. It's like I don't know who has what, but like
I'll
it's
tell you
like
what it is like, Sammy. It's like you remember the Habs against Boston at one point. We had their number.
yeah, for
Like
sure,
I'd say
and
for
then
5
you
sure,
years
turned it
ago.
around
Or,
and had
for
our
sure. And then it turned around. It's
Yeah.
like it always switches between the Rangers and New Jersey. It always switches between
Oh.
Carolina and New Jersey, Pittsburgh and Washington.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say New Jersey and us because to me New Jersey has had Montreal's number for
100%.
ages.
Yeah, but that's the Martin Brodeur curse. I call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's just
But San Jose,
absolutely.
they haven't. Montreal hasn't beaten San Jose in Montreal since 2015.
Yeah, so there you go.
And then we
yeah,
had the whole 1999 stat of Craig Rivera when we
Yeah.
finally won after
Yeah, exactly.
15 years. Yeah,
and I think I know Carey Price got a shutout that in 2015. I think Thomas Plekanec got the game winning goal. So they won 2-0, 3-0, something like that.
maybe we'll get before you continue, Sam. Maybe we'll get a couple of subscribers, San Jose fans. But I will say, in comparison to teams like Chicago, like other rebuilds,
Mhm.
they're like Chicago. I'm not really a fan of the way they play, the type of players, what they
Mhm.
traded. But
Yeah.
San Jose, they're gonna have a heck of a team. I
Dude.
like some of their young guys.
If they get the first overall pick and they pick, oh my God, I'm drawing a memory blank, the defenseman to play with Sam Dickinson.
Yeah,
Oh my
they
God.
they have a hell of a team. I'm impressed by their rebuild. They remind me a little bit of Montreal, like last year. Doesn't win a lot, but annoying to play against.
Yeah.
Remind me
Dude,
that way.
like don't kid yourself. San Jose, if they draft properly, look, just with Macklin Celebrini, him alone, but they have Sam Dickinson too. Like they did so well in that draft. If they get the first overall pick, it's either gonna be the defenseman again for the life of me. Like live right now as we speak, I can't remember his name. That's concussion syndrome. If they have either they draft him or chances are Michael Misa. Like my God,
Yeah.
they're gonna be good.
Imagine Celebrini's so good. He's still the
He's
second best. He still was the second best player in the draft.
He's insane.
You're talking about Schaefer, right?
That Matt, thank you, Matthew Schaefer. Yeah,
Yeah.
if they draft Schaefer, who I believe I think he's a right-handed shot, and Sam Dickinson is a left. You pair those two together. My God, that's your number one, your number two. San Jose, man, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
they're gonna be
They're
good, man, in a couple years.
besides the highlight of the night of Caulfield, I was thoroughly impressed by Celebrini.
Yeah, he's amazing. I don't want to put so much pressure on him saying he's the next Sidney Crosby, but I think he's got the hockey smarts that Sidney Crosby has.
Caulfield beat the hell out of him.
Oh my God, Caulfield made him look silly. What a goal! Like thank God Caulfield scored that, because even the practice after the San Jose win, Marty lost his shit on everybody.
Good.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw that video,
Yeah.
but he's yelling, "Wake the fuck up!" And of course, but what I like about Marty and even the team, the players themselves, like they knew right then and there, this was not our best game. We're happy with the results, not exactly happy the way we got it. Like, yeah, everybody,
Totally
the
agree.
fans are buzzing because Cole Caulfield scored that amazing goal that tied his number of his career high of 28 goals. We're gonna get to the Buffalo game that happened Saturday night, but the team knew that, like, no, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. And they had to play better, and they did play better. They played better against the Buffalo Sabres Saturday night. And that's these 4 wins. These are 8 big points. That win against the Buffalo Sabres Saturday night puts them 3 points right now as we speak. Sunday, March 2nd, puts them 3 points out of the final wild card spot. Columbus keeps freaking winning, but as long as
But it's still
Detroit
5.
keeps,
At least we have it's 2 spots. It's 3 and 5. So
yeah, that's correct, because
Yeah.
Columbus keeps winning. But if
They are.
Detroit keeps losing and the other teams above us keep losing, Ottawa's got to lose. It's going to be so tight. But this
We need
is
Columbus to start losing.
we need Columbus to start losing. This is being in the mix, boys. Folks, this is being in the mix. 3 points
Sam,
out.
It's 2 months that we're in the mix. 3 months. So like we
Since
cannot
December.
complain.
I
Yeah,
think
I'll
since
say
the end of December.
So we cannot say that they have not been in the mix.
Oh,
No,
I agree.
no, but-
I agree.
Which was their forecast at the beginning of the season. They've done what they had to do.
Mhm.
Now I don't know. I wanted to run this by you guys. Would it be a good or okay? No. Would it help the rebuild if we do make the playoffs this season? Meaning, will it force the hand of management to make some moves that will,
Yeah.
shorten the rebuild, perhaps cut a little corner more than we would have wanted to?
Zook, I don't think there's cutting. I think
hope
the
not.
Habs have had so many top draft picks.
Yeah.
Now's the time to. I don't
You
want
think?
the Chicago syndrome. To me, the Chicago syndrome is
Or Buffalo.
Edmonton. Well, Edmonton a lot. Yeah, or Buffalo. Maybe Edmonton's
Yeah.
not a good reference because they had so many number ones, but it took them a while.
Yeah, I did.
I don't want the Chicago. Like, look at Seth Jones talking about how Chicago. They have so many top picks and they're going nowhere. At a certain point, even for me, I'm huge on rebuild, but you have to get to a point where you
It's
just
the
got to
culture
be
of
better.
winning.
Like New Jersey was in that sort of range. I don't think making or not making the playoffs, those few positions, are going to hurt us.
Okay.
If you're talking
No, and
bottom
this is-
5,
yeah.
Sam, I was just going to say if you're talking bottom 5 to making the playoffs, okay, maybe that's a big difference. But we've had so many bottom 5s now. I don't think those just missing wild card or just making it. I don't think it's going to make a difference for our rebuild.
This is good, but this is also good as far as development and progression is concerned for guys like Slav,
Yeah.
for Cole Caulfield as well. You could put Nick Suzuki, Lane Hudson, 1,000%, Arbor Jacki, 1,000%. This is great for him. You could throw in Jaden Struble, whether we think he's going to be here long term or not. Right now, Owen Beck is here. He's good. Heineman as a rookie, it's good for him too, and it's good for those veterans to kind of guide those younger players how to mentally prep themselves for this. So, no, I don't think this hurts the rebuild at all. There's some things that certain decisions management's going to have to make. I want to mention this later on in this episode regarding a very specific subject and player.
But Sam, this will push this. Like Zook said, it's a good point when we talk about the player.
Mhm.
I think this will push Hughes, maybe not at deadline, but in the offseason to make some
I think
NHL
so.
moves.
It's not going to be. I still think this is part of their plan. I really believe management had a plan. Listen, we're not going to be good for the first year, second year, maybe even the third year. We'll try to pick top 5. They got the first overall pick, and then two drafts after that, pick that number 5. But I also believe they have a plan. Like, okay, if we are progressing, if we are in the mix, what do we try to do to bring that compete level of this team that's in a rebuild to a slightly upper level to kind of like seal the deal of that wild card spot, or maybe be even top 3 in the division. They have that plan. I believe that personally, but I want to talk just a little bit about the game against Buffalo, and then we'll get on to the main subject here. A big statement. I think it was a big statement from some of the guys, some of the younger guys. I think Lane Hudson had probably one of the best games of the season. If you looked at his advanced stats, he was the best player offensively and even defensively of the game. But this was also a game where other supporting lines other than the top 2 need to do things. I think this probably could have been one of Christian Dvorak's probably his best game with the Montreal Canadiens ever, with 2 assists and just playing well defensively and offensively. Big goal by Josh Anderson, a big goal by Alex Newhook, and Cole Caulfield setting a career high of 29 goals. And he's 1 goal away from being a 30-goal scorer for the first time in his career.
Can he hit 40?
Do I think he's going to hit 40 with 22 games left?
He's 11 goals.
He's 11 goals away. It's possible. It's very possible. Cole Caulfield, he's a type of player that can do it. Will he?
It's going to be close. I think
it's going to be close. I think if he finishes with 37 goals, like,
I'll be happy with that.
Bravo. I'll be very, very happy with that.
Yeah.
Because we all predicted he could be a 30-goal scorer, but then you're a 30-goal scorer, but are you on the bottom side of it or the upper side? If he finishes on the upper side, which is 35 plus, that's a good sign for me.
For sure.
That's a very good sign in my books, at least.
Savvy brought up Hudson. I was going to say, what a massive game from him. Second most points by a defenseman, by a rookie defenseman from the Habs since Chelios. So Chelios is number 1. So that's a huge honor. There was an interview with him after talking about it, but his mentality is, it's kind of like he kind of like scrubbed it off about it. Like, he likes it. It's great that he's having an accolade, but he's like, I just want to continue to grow and help us win.
That's maturity.
It's because he knows there's still a lot to grow from his game. He's
1,000%.
But the way he's growing now is crazy. Like, this game against Buffalo was incredible by him.
Another 2 assists. I think we predicted at the beginning of the season that he wouldn't get that many goals. He's at 4 right now, which is perfect. Like, we all knew that.
Points. We
Pardon me?
Like maybe 40 points, maybe. And he's
we predicted.
He's on pace for 60 points.
I think we predicted over 50.
Yeah,
I know I did.
Me too.
Which I predicted I predicted like out of like 50 plus points, I thought he was gonna get like 2 to 3 goals and the rest all assists. And so far it seems to be going that way.
I've always said it. If ever there's a defenseman that goes into the 50 points range, that's already, in my opinion, elite. Like, whoever in whichever team. If you get a 50-point defenseman, that's a lot.
And then he's a rookie.
He's a rookie. He's 21 years old.
So he's going to hit the maybe not Makar level, but very close. I think so.
No, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna score that many goals throughout his career. But he's gonna be. But he's gonna be a lot of. He's gonna be a guy that gets a lot of points.
Exactly.
Both 5-on-5 and on the power play.
But like, one thing that I hope he works on this summer is he has to shoot more often.
But he's not that.
He's not shooting though. But he has the opportunities.
But
you know what?
Sometimes he's in front of the net and he could shoot.
But he made an amazing play yesterday off that vision to Anderson.
Beautiful
play with Anderson.
Yeah, insane.
Beautiful play. He has the mind.
But so recently on Twitter, there's lots of little footages of them at practice. It's Laine. Usually, it was him feeding a puck to Laine, and Laine is doing one-timers. I think they're both alternating now. I think every practice they take turns. There's a couple of videos that surfaced that it's Lane Hudson getting a shot off the point off a pass from Laine.
To score like that, dude.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna go there and say he has a great shot. Like, I mean, he has an NHL shot. He could shoot the puck. If he wants to score goals, I think he's going to need help from the forwards of crashing the net. And a perfect example was that game against Carolina. Slav parked his ass right in front of Greg Anderson and Freddie Anderson, excuse me. And Hudson just launched it at the net. And I think that's how he's going to get most of his goals. If the forwards, they crash the net, and he just finds a spot and just puts the puck on net. Worst comes to worst, it gets deflected in, and he gets an assist anyway. So,
we'll have Mayu who's going to score goals, so it's fine.
Well, I think Mayu's going to be a power play specialist, at least a second line power play specialist. That's what I think. But there's
the pieces are coming together.
The pieces are coming. Yep.
Even Ryan, I'm going to say you mentioned
Ryan Backer's looking good, man. Ryan Backer's looking good. Oh my God, guys! Like. Nothing flashy, simple. He got an assist, a beautiful assist, a very beautiful assist against the greatest against the Belleville Senators Saturday night in Laval. Like, Ryan Backer's looking good, man.
Yeah, he is. I'm glad Sam, I don't want it to transition because I want to get to a player very, very quickly before we do transition to that main player topic. What are you guys thinking more of? You mentioned Line.
Yeah.
What do you know he's gonna have 1 year left?
Yeah.
Do you think Montreal should? I probably gonna evaluate next year, of course. But have you guys been happy with his performances? Are
He's
you
putting up
50,
points.
50?
He's putting up points. Like I don't understand. This is nothing new. The guy had a pretty crazy injury in the preseason. Already before that, he was in the players program. So chances are he didn't have time to really train as much as he probably would have liked to. I don't think his conditioning is at its best.
It will
Even
be better next year.
I think it will be better next year. The guy, he's still putting points though. He's still helping out. He's still helping out.
Scorer, I think.
Well, come on, and in how many games?
He's missed 2.5 months, 3 months.
So they're like he's still putting up points. Like there's the laziness and all that, but like he's doing a lot of the right things to help put the puck in the net or to like.
No doubt in our minds, he would be a 30-goal scorer if he played a full season.
1,000%. I think he'd had 40 if he played the full season.
Yeah, I think he has a better scoring rate than Caulfield.
Of course.
Yeah.
Good.
And he plays more limited minutes. Because sometimes he's been on the fourth line,
look,
right?
You know what? This is debatable. I love Slav with Nick and Cole, but I would love to see how Liney would do with a playmaker like Suzuki. Maybe Line. Pardon me?
Not with Caulfield. I don't.
No, I agree with that. That this is why I say it's debatable. Like, okay, but I just personally think Patrick Liney needs a playmaking center. We'll transition here. I'm not so sure Kirby Dach is that centerman for him.
He's not. We need to round that second line next year.
And here we go. Kirby Dach, season-ending injury again to that right knee that looked like it happened in Ottawa. Who knows if it was before that? Got successful surgery. He's out for the season with that right knee injury again. And I feel bad. I feel bad for him again. Because this is once again, it's something that he's gonna have to figure out up here, how to mentally stay the course and not put himself down. And he's got to stop listening to the media if he ever was listening to not just media but what fans are saying as well. But I truly believe this is also an eye opener for management. And right now, the narrative everywhere within Habs Nation is Kirby Dach is done. 1 year left. We need to trade him. He's not a centerman. I'm venturing more on the side that he's not a centerman, but I still think he could be a top 6 player on this team. But I'm going to say this, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Next year is his final year. It's on his contract. It's his last chance to prove to management that he could still be part of this core. Now all of a sudden everyone's saying, "Oh, Chicago fleeced the Canadiens." It's like, shut up, stop it. No, hindsight is always 2020. Like it's easy to talk after the fact. 2.5 years later, it's a lot easier to talk now that this is happening.
What did they get again? What picks was it?
They traded Romanov for the 15 pick and some other second round pick.
But what did they even draft with it? Like if they drafted,
Chicago?
Yeah, what if they
they drafted Frank Nazar with that pick.
Okay, I mean it's not really a fleece yet.
Well, but thank you, Joe. And we all loved Alexander Romanov. The Canadiens didn't even want to trade Romanov. They tried to keep him.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we love him, but like it's not like it's not like he's a Sergachev defenseman. You know what I mean? When that trade happened, like that was getting fleeced. But I do think management right now, Joe, I know you wanted to talk about this. They got to do something for that second line center role. They need to do something.
I think they need to round out that second line for next year. Suzuki talked about being hungry, making the playoffs. One of the things you got to fix. There's two things you got to fix. Keeping the puck out of the net because Montreal's goals against is still not the greatest statistic,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we'll talk about that another day. And that second line needs to be rounded out. Yeah, and a reason I say not just second line center, I'm talking second line because you have to. This brought up because I brought Line into this for this reason is some people consider him a second line, part of that second line. Some don't. So if you don't consider him part of that second line, right now you're at one player. For me, you're at Demidov. If you don't consider
Exactly.
so if you have just
1,000%.
Demidov, you need a center and another winger. If you consider Line okay, then you need a center that can play with them.
And I like Newhook, and I'm happy he scored, but I don't think he's a second line centerman.
No, I like Newhook. We founding one of our bottom six. I like him to stay where he is and not move. He's doing it perfectly, so don't touch it. But I'm in the group that's sort of done and over with Dach. I think they need to turn the page and find somebody to fill the second line right now. Obviously, we know there's Hage that they drafted, but of course he's not ready.
He's still years away, though. He's still two years away at minimum, I think.
It might
Really?
be, but this is all about Hughes making hockey moves in the summer because they need to find a way to get that second line players to play with Demidov. Really.
Totally agree.
I don't know.
Thing is though, I don't. It's not going to happen at the trade deadline. I highly doubt it happens at the trade deadline because I don't think Hughes is going to go off that plan. I think more and more, I really think Hughes is. I think he's going to keep Evans and Armia. If he's not getting a player in return, long term, not just on. I don't think Hughes is not going to trade Evans and Armia for a player with a 1-year contract.
I think we either stay put or we maybe trade one guy, but I think mostly everybody stays.
Savard, exactly. Savard, Dvorak is a bit of a different story, but the main topics for Canadian players to go at the deadline is Evans and Armia as a package. There's so many rumors that Minnesota is looking at them, but I don't think Hughes is going to fix that at this trade deadline.
No.
However, I think he's going to try to do another. We have so many draft picks, so I really think he's going to try to pull something off, maybe at the draft. Kind of like the way he acquired Kirby Dach. Like he's gonna. I think they're gonna try to make that splash at the draft
to get what
a hockey
that second line. That second line centerman probably
like they did with Line Zook. They're gonna, but it maybe in a trade rather. Like they did with Line. They're gonna make.
But who's available?
We don't know yet.
It's not somebody that's available. It's somebody that you.
I'm saying, who would you think? Like,
agents are easier to.
Yeah.
That's one route. Obviously, Hughes can take, right? There's Rantanen and Marner that are up for. They're up for free agency.
I'd be dry.
You can talk about those players because they're going to be available. They might resign, but as of now, they have no contract. But trading, you have no idea. I really think Hughes is going to make. I hate to bring his name up, a Bergevin type trade. Where he traded Subban for Weber. He made
probably.
He made the Drouin trade, although it didn't work out. But he'll make a hockey trade, or he'll get the hockey player. Whether he gives up picks or another player remains to be seen. But he'll definitely make a hockey trade.
There's two players I had mentioned, and again, for the life of me, I can't remember who I said. I know I said Mason McTavish. I don't know what you guys think. And
fantastic player.
I mean I like him. And who's the other one that
you keep mentioning Bennett.
Yeah, but he's a free agent too, and he's going to cost a pretty penny. If they get Sam Bennett, like holy shit! But again, like, do you want to get a guy that's close to 30 years old, over 30 years old at the stage in this rebuild? I don't know. I know New Jersey's in the mix for Jake Evans. What about Dawson Mercer?
Oh, that's a good name.
I wanted Dawson Mercer, and I know he's not having a great season this year compared to the first 2 years of his career, but he's still young.
Still 23,
he's young, and he's under $4 million a year for the next 4 years or something. I checked his contract real quick. I wanted that draft. I wanted Dawson Mercer, but they ended up picking Caden Gooley, which I was happy with in the end. I don't know. Maybe a young guy like Dawson Mercer, but who's established in the NHL. That's going to be the type of trade I think Kent Hughes is going to try to do.
Yeah, he
I
almost hit 30 goals a couple of years ago.
yeah,
I mean,
27. Yeah.
last year was a one-off for New Jersey because they had a lot of injuries. They didn't have a
mm-mm,
great year.
no,
But when the team plays well, like most guys, including Mercer, do
yeah,
well. He's still not at the level he was 2 years ago, but
no,
it's a possibility, Sam. But I'm
but
I'm
yeah,
hoping I'm hoping Montreal will take a player that's coming off a good year or multiple good
I
years.
but hold, I agree. But look at what Capo Caco's doing with Utah right now. He's a second overall pick.
Yeah,
And look,
true.
and he was giving a third line role, and it wasn't working out because he needs minutes. Look, he's getting top 6 minutes now in Utah. Look how great he's playing.
Yeah, true.
You
Yeah,
know
you
what I mean?
never
So
know.
maybe because Dawson Mercer's a centerman, but
He's
how
with
could
Seattle, by the way, Sam.
who did I say? I said Utah.
Utah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah, my bad. Sorry, Seattle. And, their jerseys look the same. Leave me alone.
Yeah, he's doing. He's certainly doing a lot
he's
better.
doing he's doing well. Like he needs that role. I think Dawson Mercer can be. I think he could be a top 6 player in this league. Second line center, I think, is his peak. Like you could switch between maybe second and third line center. But I think you know what I mean. When New Jersey has Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes, and he's a net, and Dawson Mercer was drafted as a centerman.
Mhm.
When
Yeah,
it's I know it's easier for a centerman to play on the wing. Maybe he's one of those guys that just needs a different scenery, a change of scenery.
but Sam, maybe I'm reaching for the stars.
Probably.
I'm yeah, probably for sure. I look at Suzuki and in a mold of our fierce but respected rivals, the Bruins. Like
Hmm.
I'm hoping we have a 1A 1B when they did with Bergeron Krejci. I
Yeah.
kind of want that rather than Mercer, somebody like Mercer or similar, he
Hmm.
can never overtake Suzuki's spot. I'd
No,
rather have the 1A, 1B because I think Suzuki is a 1A, 1B, but I don't think he's like the one that, how do I say, Crosby, McDavid, blah, blah, blah,
he's
Barkov.
not. He's Patrice Bergeron status, man.
Yes, but
I
they worked because they had a 1A, 1B. So I'm hoping Montreal, I don't know how, can get that 1A, 1B.
I think Michael Hage is going to be. I don't know why I keep thinking that Suzuki and Hage can be that Bergeron Krejci type of 1A,
Great.
1B type. Thing
But
is,
it's patient.
Michael Hage is going to be in a couple of years from now.
Yeah, it's patience
It's
for sure. So what do you
it's
do in the meantime?
I've that and they're going to have to evaluate that, and I really think this. I okay, so put Dawson Mercer aside. What about Mason McTavish? It was the
Yeah,
final year of his contract as an RFA.
I wouldn't mind, but it's always the asking price, right?
Mm.
So it's really
Give them Calgary's first round pick of this year, and
yeah, it's gonna be a
throw.
low pick for sure. It's gonna be a low pick.
Yeah,
Calgary.
but they're gonna pick top 3 this year probably, or at least top 5.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
And who they're gonna pick? They could probably pick Higgins.
yeah, that's a good
You know what I
choice.
mean? They could pick Higgins if they get the second overall. It's Mike. Imagine they pick Michael Misa. It's gonna be between them, San Jose, and Chicago once again.
Yeah, yeah. The
Like
same
like
teams.
like with dude. They already have Leo Carlson, who's probably going to be their number 1 centerman,
I like
and then they pick Beckett Seneca, who's a centerman, who's probably going to be the number to be between. Look, like you have guys that are centermen that are playing their off position in Zegras and in
but they can do it more than winger can play center.
I get that, but at some point they're gonna have to evaluate who is
For
worth
sure.
giving away. Right now, the obvious is Zegras. I think Mason McTavish might be a better centerman than Zegras on the Montreal Canadiens after Nick Suzuki.
For sure. And because we're discussing all this, that's where I think Hughes won't trade Evans, given all the problems around centermans that we have
Of
right now.
course.
Because Dvorak, guys, we haven't mentioned him yet, but he's gone after this year, right?
But this begs the question: is Owen Beck ready to replace? I think he's ready to replace Dvorak. But we got to go a step further now. Is he ready to replace Jake Evans, Owen Beck?
That's
don't
so
think
hard
so.
to tell. It's such a small sample size.
I
don't think so yet.
I
I'm with
don't.
Duke, yeah.
I'm not sure he is either.
To me, if you roll next year trying to make playoffs with Suzuki, depending who you get in a trade, Evans and Beck, I don't know.
Like
I don't.
I know Oliver Kapanen is having a great season in Europe, but him too. Like if your bottom two centermen, you're relying on rookies to
Yeah,
to
maybe
make the
one, but not two.
like you know what I mean. But look, Owen Beck, ever since he was put at center with Line and Newhook,
It's been looking better for
he's
sure.
looking pretty good.
He's
He's
looking
looking
good.
good.
But can you rely on it a full season? They asked the question, a very important question to Lane Hudson yesterday, and this can apply to Beck. He hit the 60 game mark, Hudson, and they asked him, well, this is usually around like how many games you play in a year. Is your body, do you have it in your tank to go another 22 games? Well, we noticed that out of Beck. That's a huge question for rookies. If he plays a full season, can he handle it? We're having problems with Doc, and we're not keeping Dvorak because we need better. So you're already missing two centermen to come in with one as a rookie, and then Evans, a guy that you're trying to maybe trade because he wants too much. There's too many question marks. I don't know if he's ready to handle it. Beck.
Well, I think Beck is a lot more physically mature than we think. Because there was a one span where I think he played 4 or 5 hockey games in like 6 days between Montreal and Laval. Like he was alternating. It was insane. Like he's the kid is mature mentally. Is he mature physically? I mean, obviously at 21 years old, like he's still young and all that. They still got to develop physically, but for me, it's they need to evaluate like if he's ready to. I don't think Beck is a second line centerman. I thought he was at one point. Sure. I think his best role would fit a third line centerman. Yeah. But the real question is like if he makes a team next year, are they going to use him for those defensive face-off responsibilities? And I know yesterday he was at 75%, and in the OHL he was the best face-off guy in junior. But at the end of the day, a rookie in the NHL is still a rookie in the NHL. Is he ready for that? It like the coaching staff is going to have to be. They're going to have to seriously think about it.
If Evans is we think he's going to be traded. Maybe not the deadline, but you can tell like obviously he might not stay. If you tell me next season that Beck takes your fourth line role and then you're getting a number 2 and a number 3, experience established, then I'd be like, no problem. But if you're having these question marks and you're bringing Beck into this, then I'll be like, I'm not too sure. It depends what you bring in the offseason. It really, really depends.
I think Oliver Kapanen and Owen Beck are going to be sort of fighting for that
spot.
For that spot, let's for the sake of discussion here, let's say the fourth line role. I think both of them are going to be fighting for that spot.
Yeah, I agree.
And I really I pray to God, I pray to the hockey gods that they figure out this Jake Evans thing. But like we'll might know a bit more come Friday, the trade deadline on March 7th. It's a big thing, but circling back to Kirby Dach again, it's like it sucks. And I personally think he's a winger. I think we saw the best of Kirby Dach when he was playing wing. When he was playing wing with Sean Monahan, if you remember him. At one point, when he was playing wing with Suzuki and Caulfield, he looked pretty good.
Yeah. But if they're going to trade or Evans and Armia don't have futures for the team,
man.
I know Armia is a different type of player, but I still think Doc can fill in at least maybe third line. I don't know if he could fill second line. I really don't know. Maybe he could fill
who I was thinking, because again, you're like, okay, Demidov's coming next year. You're still going to have Patrick Laine. You're not touching that first line. It's what do you do? Do you give Doc one last chance at the second line center, but you give him a winger like Ivan Demidov, and he's going to play with Laine? And I think maybe you put Newhook as your third line center. If you put Newhook in a if you put Newhook on a line with Gallagher and Anderson,
I don't
know. That work?
Newhook, we've tried. It's not like we haven't, but the fact that he's doing so well in his role now, he's the type like he's doing well. Don't touch it. Don't change it. We tried it out at another position. It didn't work. It's giving me like that Drouin vibe.
But he was trying second. He was trying second line center, and that wasn't working.
But Sam, third line center, man, it's so key when it comes to playoffs defensively. I don't know.
1,000%.
I'd rather use Newhook for his speed and utilize it. So I'm more keep him on the wing, have him there for breakouts. He's amazing with his speed. He's still responsible defensively. I think he comes in clutch. So I think he's been coming in with clutch goals. Like he's reminding me a little bit, not his style, but the clutchness as Lehkonen. Like he comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, with clutch goals, and I think when you have that on your third line going against third and fourth line oppositions, you have more of a chance of achieving, those timely goals. So I would just really keep him on the wing, third line, and I would find somebody to replace Dach. And again, if you consider Laine second line or not, you have to round out that second line with center and maybe a winger.
Zook, what are your thoughts on this? Like,
honestly, that whole puzzle is very confusing, and I have no idea what the hell Kent's going to do. And that's what I'm really curious to see what's going to happen within the next couple months. Even if it's not in trade deadline, I'm sure this summer something's going to happen. Look, if there's anything that we should be comforted is that we have this management in place that's more than capable, right? So I'm not as stressed had I would have been if Bergevin would be GM.
It always comes down to that. Huh?
With what's to come.
Poor Bergevin.
Listen, he's done good moves. Bergevin. He's made some great choices, but it's not always been the case, of course. But I think Kent has an idea.
Oh, like, for sure. Pro scouting. Pro scouting is gonna really have to step up their game if they really want to figure this part out. I think pro scouts really has to. It's their time to shine now.
But do you not think, guys, with the salary cap going up, with guys like Dvorak, maybe Evans, Savard is last year, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So with these guys coming off the books, the cap going up, I don't know. Maybe you can do something to get rid of a veteran or something. Do you not think this should really be the time to pursue a big free agent? Laine is going to come off the books within a year. There's two big free agents.
The only centerman I could think of is Sam Bennett.
Not just centerman. I'm talking overall player. Don't think they try to pursue one of the big two names?
They're going to try to sell the fact that Demidov is coming in the team, playing with this potential franchise player.
He may
attract some talent.
Joey, I really think, and I agree, I think they should. I think they're going to wait for that Carey Price contract to officially be gone off the books.
That's after next season.
There's 1 year left after this season.
Okay.
At $10.5 million, it's unfortunately the timing is off. But let's say Carey Price's contract was coming to an end this year. Maybe you do offer Mitch Marner $12 million.
Jesus Murphy.
12, 13. Yeah, Jesus Murphy for real.
That's what it costs, Soup. But Montreal, I think, can afford it the way they put themselves in the place. Remember, Laine has one more season after it, $8 million. That's $18 million coming off. So that's can do it for 1 year, and then have 15 coming off. Yeah.
I agree. However, don't forget, you're going to have to pay Demidov one day. You're going to have to pay
That's
Lane
why.
Hudson. You're going to have to pay Lane Hudson one day.
But that's the window, Sam, is that 3-4 years you have them on these deals. That's the window.
Yeah, I think so too.
Balls to the wall, put Demidov center. Fuck it. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
It's not going to happen. He's not going to be centerman.
Demidov
at center.
I don't see
that free agent Marner Rantanen. You put Demidov center. There's been talks about it. I say go balls to the wall, put him center. You have Laine on one side. Marner.
Marty wouldn't put that past Marty. Fuck.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I've seen footage, like actual games. He can play it. I'm not saying he'll play it super well, but he can play it. You never know.
Well, this could ask the question: Do you alternate? Let's say, look, for better or for worse, right now Kirby Dach, as far as we know, he's staying with the Canadiens. Next season, if you put a line, Dach, Laine, and Demidov, do you have them kind of alternate between faceoffs and the center position, or
why not?
Maybe it could be an option. I personally don't see it happening, but if it does happen, hey. I wouldn't be that surprised and see where it goes. And Joey gets his balls to the wall scenario.
Hey, you never know.
No,
No, honestly, look,
yeah.
he hasn't played it often. Obviously, semi kidding, but there are been reports that I've always followed that said that he can play it. He has the smarts
Mm-hmm.
to play it. So if there's ever a situation that he needs to, you never know. Forever in a desperate situation, there's a possibility.
Yeah, there is. It's just it's. I go back to Doc again because it's like the one thing he needed this season to prove himself, and majority of us gave him the benefit of the doubt from coming back from that crazy injury that he got. Like, it's not easy to come back from that. And I really think two things, the reason why he struggled this season was I don't think he was in peak condition. I really don't. It might have been impossible for him to do that. He was probably still good to play, but being like top physical shape for the start of the season, I don't think he was able to get there because recovering from that injury. And I also think mentally he was not in a good place. I try to compare, like, look where Josh Anderson was mentally last year. He wasn't in a good place, and it showed. He's in a much better place this season, and it's showing. I think Kirby Dach this year, a mixture of everything, was not in a good place mentally, and I truly believe that was the case for him, and it showed. Now he gets this injury again. It's somebody within management's got to look out for him. Not like we're worried about his mental health, but at the same time, it's like make sure he stays the course, not just physically but mentally as well, because
Yeah,
it is his last chance. And fuck, if he, like Slav said, it's all in the mindset, and if he's able to have that, let's just take it for what it is. If he has that Slavkovsky mindset, like, he could be a force too. He's a big kid, and it's just
I agree.
I just wish he wasn't so injury prone, but it is what it is. And yeah, man, it's so
But
unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because I remember, man, I remember when he got picked third overall and seeing him at the start of the World Juniors before he got that wrist injury. Dude, he was lights out better than everybody on the ice. He was ahead of everybody on the ice, and it's just so unfortunate. But
Yeah.
the only
yeah,
difference with Anderson is Anderson's dealt with a couple injuries, but it's nothing like Doc. Can he mentally overcome the injuries he's having? And that's the question I ask. Can
yeah,
he do it? It's the same with Gooley, like the
yeah,
Gooley and as the defenseman and Doc as a forward. No matter how you say they're freak accidents, they're just considered injury prone, not because they do something stupid to get themselves injured. It's just some people have that bad luck in them where they just get injured no matter what, and we seem to be it seems to be happening, excuse me, to two players, which is Doc and Gooley. Can they
yeah,
mentally overcome this?
yeah, 1,000%. Um, yeah. Well, listen, time will tell. I think this Friday, this trade deadline is going to reveal
A lot.
a lot. I think it will. Whether a trade is made or not, I still think it will reveal something.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I call it the Saturday deadline. I'm in the future. For me, it's Saturday trade deadline.
It's so true.
I'm actually gonna wake up, guys, to your messages because it's actually gonna be mid like three. What it's at 3 o'clock. It stops, right?
2 or 3 o'clock, the deadline,
Yeah,
PM
yeah. So that's
Eastern
like
time, Joey.
yeah Eastern time. So that's 5. That's gonna be 5 a.m. for me. So I'm gonna wake up to like 1,000 messages in the group
What the
talking about
fuck? They did
yeah,
nothing. They trade They could have traded every. They should have traded. Blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
pretty much.
Speaking of trades, though, a couple of moves made on Saturday. Nyquist going to Minnesota. Um,
Being
I
aggressive.
saw there were a couple. There was a trades. Kui, how you pronounce his name, from the Rangers going to Colorado, and I think the big one, Seth Jones going to Florida.
My God, Florida got fleeced. Oh, Florida got fleeced. I think Seth Jones is one of the most overrated defensemen ever. And I really think I think Florida, I know they're going to go for a cup run. If they win,
Mm-hmm.
that's great. But if they don't, they really got fleeced.
Yeah, you think Chicago got a good one with Spencer Knight?
And first rounder?
Yeah, first in 2027, I believe.
Still, I don't know that draft class, but I think Spencer Knight when I say is a goalie, like he's capable of playing. Like that's good for Chicago. I don't know. I just think Seth Jones with that contract, it kind of gives me a bit of the although he's having a better year, Gallagher.
Big contract though, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying like that contract, his age, and just like the way he plays, he just doesn't suit it. I don't know.
Dude, I completely forgot Seth Jones was in his 30s now.
Yeah.
His early 30s.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Nashville drafted him.
Yeah.
Like holy shit! And they had Weber, Yossi.
Yeah, he never made Chicago better. I just don't think he's that.
No, but they got dude. He was acquired by Chicago at like they were the bottom of the barrel. Like they were shit.
I know, but his play never. I know the team, but his play. We'll see what a better team, but his play never elevated, never improved.
Like Connor Bedard, like did you see that picture of him in the box, like just like hating his life?
I should have came here.
Look, Connor Bedard is gonna have a fantastic career, but like it's just not going well in Chicago right now. And again, yeah, they're in a rebuild and whatever and whatnot. But Seth Jones, well, he made it clear he wanted out. So I think it's kind of the same thing like Liney. He made it public. I want out. I want out of Columbus. Yeah. So it kind of puts that team in a handcuff position. But I mean, hey, if you're saying Florida got fleeced,
I think
they gotta go. Well, yeah, for sure. And that's what you do in a rebuild. It's like I don't think Spencer Knight ever had a chance behind Bobrovsky.
No, I don't think so either. And don't get me wrong, when I say fleece, I mean, longer term, Chicago is going to win the deal. And although I think Seth Jones is not the defenseman maybe some people think he is, he can still very well help them in the short term to win the cup. And if he does that,
well, if he plays defensively, just play defensively.
Exactly, but it's normal on a trade deadline. Most teams, in my opinion, get somewhat fleeced because most people don't think of, oh wow, like look at short term, can they win the cup, whatever. A lot of people think, oh, you're giving up a first. This guy young, he's going to be that other team's a good player for them for years. Well, this guy's only a year or two, but that's the point of the trade deadline is to get somebody to help you right now.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. Well, Friday trade deadline is always exciting as usual. Times shit happens and goes down. Times shit doesn't happen. So we'll definitely see. I know we were talking about Demidov before. I have the game on right here next to me, and he's got he's playing on the second line, and he got an assist. They're losing 2-1, but he got an assist.
But is there a reason he didn't play those minutes the game before or 2 games?
Okay, so here we'll end off this episode on a bang. Rumors are and circulating that they offered Ivan Demidov a contract.
Extension.
And pardon me?
Oh, an extension to his current.
They added an extension to his current contract, and he refused, obviously, and then that's why he was benched. 13 forward with no minutes, and I think the rumors are that Ska, if that's how you pronounce the name, they know that Ivan Demidov wants to go to the Canadiens next year. And I think the hope was you get him under contract and the Montreal Canadiens buy him out and give cash to that Russian club. Kind of the same, exactly. Kind of the same way Philly did for Matvei Michkov.
You sneaky little
fucks.
But like, why would you offer? Like, I don't know what goes on in the background, but
politics.
Yeah, I agree. But Demidov, the chances he wasn't going to take it. Like, I guess you can give it. You can give it a shot, but I mean, there's no way he was going to accept it.
No, of course not. It's. I don't know. If it's true, like I don't like those crooked politics, but that's a whole other subject. And
even George Larocque said that's
where I heard
done in the past. So he's like,
of course,
going to be done again in the future. That's
of course,
the case.
Dude, if you listen to some of these players that played in the KHL, say some stories, like
they all have a story.
It's crazy out there.
They
it's
all have
a
story.
whole different world compared to over here.
He should do something and get out of his contract now. Come play the last 2 games.
He could.
No,
what's the rule, Sammy? Could a player from
I'm just being
from the KHL who was under contract, let's say they break a contract, could he essentially come to the Canadiens or the NHL? Sorry.
Well,
mid-season,
I
or is
know.
our rule?
Well, if they buy out the rest of that contract, but then he's got to sign with the Canadians. He can't just come here. He's got to actual sign afterwards.
Right.
Yeah,
Which no,
they can.
I don't know.
The
I
only,
say,
the only way
listen.
you can break it or buy it is if the player himself pays it. That's what they said.
Oh,
Okay.
Russia, for Russia, yeah.
Molson, you have money. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, but they can't find out legally that Montreal pays
No, it's
Demidov
not
to
as
pay out
it's
his
not as simple.
contract.
It's not as simple
No,
as
it's
people
not.
think.
No, it's not. For
They
but it's
should do
okay.
it via
No,
cryptocurrency. You know, it's hard to track.
guys, this offseason, if Kent Hughes makes moves at the draft, and then after that, two big announcements. The Montreal Canadiens sign Ivan Demidov to a 3-year entry-level contract. Montreal Canadiens signed Jacob Fowler to a 3-year entry-level contract. Because if Jacob Fowler goes to the Frozen Four, he will
He's
not
coming.
come. He will not play for the Canadiens, and it won't be like Lane Hudson last year where he signed. They could only sign 2 years because he's playing the final game or something, the final 2 games.
How dominant is that kid?
Who? Which
Jacob.
one? Both of them? They're amazing. They're both amazing. Whichever kid you're talking about, they're freaking fantastic.
Fowler, do you think realistically next season he's going to go to Laval? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think he
for a full
replaces.
season.
I think he replaces either Connor Hughes or Caden Primo.
Oh,
Yep.
Primo's gone. Yeah,
And we
So-
keep the same 2 goalies next year. And if
Motambo, Dobesh.
maybe
Yeah.
if one struggles, then
You give him a
likelihood
full
doesn't
year
happen.
and the starting goal. But this is why I think Primo's gone, because I think they'll give Fowler the starting goaltender in Laval.
Mhm.
If you bring back Connor Hughes as the backup, even better. But yeah,
I like Hughes.
that's what I think is going to happen. That to me makes the most logical sense
Yeah.
behind all this. Guys, can you imagine here? I want to end this episode on a bang right here, right now. Can you imagine Kent Hughes trades Kirby Dach? And I'm having fun with this. I don't want Kirby Dach to get traded just yet. I want to see one more season. I want him getting one last chance. But can you imagine this? The Montreal Canadiens trade Kirby Dach to the Anaheim Ducks for Mason McTavish and a second round pick, because we have 2 of those as well. And then can you imagine the Montreal Canadiens trade Jake Evans to the New Jersey Devils for Dawson Mercer and the 3rd round, and no, they give us a second round pick or a third round pick. No, they because they want to go for a cup. You want our centerman, and no, you give us a pick. We'll give Anaheim a pick. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. But no, New Jersey, I don't even know how many picks they have in New Jersey. I'm just shooting the shit here. No, you give us a pick in return.
Sam, next year you're gonna have to depend on a rookie and 2 young players. No experience. Not no experience, but not a lot of experience.
Hey, listen, if you're telling me Mason McTavish is your second line center to Suzuki and Dawson, 2 guys that are young established players in the NHL. We lost Zook, but it's okay. It's the end of the episode.
Yeah, no, it's
and then you have either Owen Beck or Oliver Kapanen as your rookie 4th liner.
Yeah, it's a possibility. It's just you have to see if Hughes wants to young and established, but I would still emphasize on the young part. So if they want that real veteran presence, we're talking late 20s, they won't have that. That's the only thing.
No, for sure. But again, Joey, I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking playing NHL over here.
Well, we're in trade deadline mode.
I'm on NHL PlayStation mode at the trade deadline. So.
Do they accept it on PlayStation? That's the question.
You do the settings yourself. Yeah.
Okay, exactly.
Okay. Well, here, listen. In case Zook doesn't come back, Zook, thanks for joining us. I don't know what the Zook just texted me right now. What happened? Here, I'll tell him to come back just so he could say goodbye to us and to our audience. But listen, Joey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Listen, the Canadiens have one more game in Montreal before you go.
Crazy, right? They never play Mondays.
So you have one more game. So will we see you on another post-game show? Hopefully, maybe. Another big game coming up for the Montreal Canadiens Monday nights. If they take this game against the Buffalo Sabres, this is going to be this could be huge, man. This puts them within theoretically 1 point behind a final wild card spot. If Detroit loses, hopefully, I didn't check the schedule here, But yeah,
But, Sam, they do play these teams like Detroit, of course, Ottawa, teams that they're battling with. They
mm-hmm.
do play them at least one more time till the end of the season.
Yeah, and I think the Canadiens have one of the easiest schedules remaining with 22 games left.
I don't know how easy you think, but yeah.
Zook just texted me, my laptop totally failed. I'm rebooting.
The only team they do not play that they're
mm-hmm.
done with that's in contention is I don't know if Pittsburgh is. I'm not kind of considering them, but
go on Tankathon here, tankathon.com.
No,
I know they have
Columbus.
like the 5th. Yeah,
I'm just saying the Montreal who they have to play direct.
Right.
With Columbus is the only one they do not play. They play the Flyers, they play the Islanders, they play Boston, they play Detroit once, they play Ottawa I think once or twice. So they're playing all these direct rivals, and they got to win those games.
Yeah, and I think they play the Leafs one more time too.
Yeah. But they're they're way ahead.
All right, I think Zook's laptop crapped the bed. He's saying he's rebooting, but listen, we're gonna call this an episode. Listen, to all of our audience out there, thanks again for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. Share this with your fellow Habs fans, friends around the world, especially if they're in South Korea. Awesome. Episodes available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for audio formats. And once again, following us on social medias like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, also known as X. And thanks again to our sponsor, Habs Cave. Joey, we love you, buddy. If we don't see you before you leave, we'll see you in South Korea.
Yeah. I'll be ahead of you guys. I'll be in the future.
Awesome. Until then, bye now.